My journey is one that I'm going to share, like the ladies and gentlemen before me, and it's really a journey of entrepreneurship. The title is called The Relentless Uncle and the Rwandan Entrepreneur. You entrepreneurs, you're really something else, aren't you? You look at the world through rose-tinted glasses, which is quite admirable because you face a lot of challenges. However, you, my dear niece, need to start thinking of a financially secure future, not only for yourself, but for your family. Social benefits, pension plans, these are things you need to start considering. These were the words of my uncle, a very successful corporate executive who had a clear vision for my future. He saw entrepreneurship as a risky endeavor, one that was fraught with uncertainty and uncertain things. His advice was filled with concern because he also had a vision of what he believed was best for me. His words were hard to ignore, especially coming from someone who I deeply respected. This is the story of how I navigated two worlds, that of practicality and that of passion. My story starts in 2001, where I worked as an intern at the Rwanda Broadcasting Agency, then known as Orinfor. This was during my gap year from high school and right before university. It was slightly after 6 p.m. I was leaving the compound, the agency premises. As I was leaving, the director then approached me and told me that I was going to read the news. This was because the news anchor was sick and there was no other replacement. I would have to replace them and read the news bulletin that evening. Live on national television to millions of Rwandan citizens with zero experience. You can imagine the pandemonium that took hold of me and the terror in my thoughts. Let's just say that thrown into the spotlight as a 19-year-old reading news live to millions of Rwandans, this was the first time I was doing it, mind you, with a faulty teleprompter that kept on switching on and off. I discovered that pressure reveals potential. To this day, I try and remember that day, but it was a blur to me. I know I mispronounced names, I mispronounced people, probably gave the wrong news at one point or the other. But I would love to really thank the director who saw something in myself that I didn't see in myself. And I'm eternally grateful. That was a pivotal moment for me, and it ignited my passion for communication. This was the first of many leaps. As someone who had always dreamed of studying law, of course, studying for my undergrad was influenced by what I did in my gap year as a 19 years old, reading the news. And I ended up studying journalism and politics in South Africa. This led me to my first job, where I had the distinct honor of working in the office of the First Lady of Rwanda as a director of communication and protocol at just 25 years old. When I tell you it was baptism by fire, do you know what that saying is? Baptism by fire, being thrown in the deep end. It was really baptism by fire. But I look back and I am eternally grateful because this really informed and played a key part in who I am today. They say that when you're bitten by the entrepreneurial bug, the bite is long and the sting is lasting. This is what led me to my third major leap. In 2017, as our lovely moderator MC said, the creation of Blue Oceans, which was undoubtedly influenced by the Blue Oceans strategy. Like many first-time entrepreneurs, I made some classic mistakes, key amongst them being renting a very expensive office space that I had no business renting. I knew nothing about running a business, let alone setting up one. But I learned very quickly that entrepreneurship is not really about appearances. It really is more to do with resilience and adaptability. As a 2017 Eisenhower Fellow, I decided to rely on my fellowship leanings and most importantly, the Blue Ocean strategy. You see, for some of you who may not know, the Blue Ocean strategy boils down to creating new, untapped markets where there is no competition. Instead, what you end up doing is fighting for share in existing crowded market, you don't do this, but start a new market with new demand and therefore new innovation. Our first product offering was the Square. As you can see, that is the Square, which was a current affairs television show produced by my company, Blue Oceans, for the national broadcaster. I hosted it along with 3 other young, dynamic, and opinionated individuals. And for 5 years, from 2018 to 2023, The Square was the most watched weekly television show with audiences not only in Rwanda, but across the world. To add to this positive streak, I had the fortune of being housed in the same building with the African Leadership University. How many people know the African Leadership University? How many people are alumni? Okay, yeah, I think we're a much older crowd. But I had the privilege of being in the same building with ALU. And my first employee was a young man from African Leadership University who strolled into my office. I had no employees. And with such confidence and aplomb, and asked me if I could hire him. And I thought to myself, if someone can come, and several others who followed him with that same mindset, who was I to doubt myself? Really. This is just to show you everyone who's passed through Blue Oceans in the 8 years that we've been in business. But just backtracking a bit, in 4.5 years, Blue Oceans grew from a team of 3 people to 15 individuals with a stream of steady clients and a wildly popular TV show that influenced national discourse. This was despite the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. We were fortunate enough to be one of the many recipients of economic resilience programs in the country, and pivoting to digital campaigns really helped us stay the course and keep on going despite what we were seeing other SMEs at the time going through. This period, however, is when the heat from the relentless uncle turned up, and rightly so. His words rang loud and almost true. You're destined for more than this. Join the corporate world. It's safer for you. At this point, he had joined forces with my father, who had always understood my passion for entrepreneurship, but it seemed my uncle, his younger brother, had pulled him to his side. And indeed, who wouldn't want that? With the business climate between 2020 to 2022, who wouldn't want a safer, better, more conventional career option for their children? But for me, the thrill of creating something new and making an impact far outweighed the corporate security world. However, I wrestled with self-doubt and fear of failure. Each time I faced failure, my uncle's words rang back very loudly. Was I on the right path? Was I making the right decision? A particularly difficult moment for me was in 2020, when I went to that very expensive office I really had no business being in when I look back. But I went to the office and I found that we had been padlocked because of delays in paying rent. And this, to any entrepreneur, it's just a feeling of shame and failure. And if you'd asked me then to apply for these corporate jobs my uncle kept on just sending, nonstop, I absolutely would have, absolutely. In moments of doubt, I relied on a simple framework. What adds value? What aligns with my core vision? This sort of became my moral compass. As the cautious optimist that I am, I chose to look at the silver lining of the cloud that was the COVID-19 pandemic. First of all, at Blue Oceans, we'd never laid off anyone. Salaries were on time, and the company client portfolio kept on growing due to a focus on digital marketing, and most importantly, the spirit of collaboration we had with other creative agencies, not only in Rwanda, but the region. We had some brilliant projects that failed horribly. But each failure taught me that a critical lesson about perseverance and innovation. I learned that failure is the tuition that we pay for success. Today, Blue Oceans is thriving and contributing to the local economy. Beyond building, my greatest satisfaction comes from seeing ripple effects of our work, how our campaigns have shifted national conversations and empowered young creatives. I see each day how our strong internship program contributes to developing talent in the creative industry. And most importantly, I've seen firsthand how entrepreneurship can be a force for positive change. Importantly, I realized that balancing entrepreneurship with my personal life, and not just for me, but for my team as well, is still a valuable lesson I am still learning. True success isn't just professional. It's also about finding harmony between passion and personal well-being. The same applies for all our employees. If you worked with Gen Zs, are there any Gen Zs in the room? Oh yes, finally, I thought I was wondering where the young people were. But if you've worked with any Gen Zs, you will know and you will learn very quickly that their best versions of themselves is when they're well-rounded, well-rested, well-adjusted, and when they find meaningful impact in the work that they're doing. A successful entrepreneur or company is nothing without a great team. These are the Gen Zs I'm talking about. You can see I'm the eldest, and probably the gentleman sitting next to me with gray hair, and older than the rest by easily 2 decades. So for those of you who want life, balance, harmony, you need to also tap into your team and the energies of your team and the synergies of your teams. As I end, my question to you all is, are you following your passion? Or are you swayed by conventional expectations? I learned that success is not defined by conventional standards, but by staying true to our vision, embracing challenges, and making a meaningful impact. I have also learned that it is absolutely fine, it is okay to close down a business you've founded, an idea or project that you've started, based on a myriad of factors, external, internal, personal, or more. For now, I hope to steady the course with Blue Oceans and spread our wings past the borders of Rwanda. As for that relentless uncle, I will always listen to his voice and welcome it. And I hope that I will continue to make him proud as the niece who's committed to this journey of entrepreneurship. I thank you.